And I'm going to just share my screen. Good. And I hope you can all still see and hear me. And the topic this afternoon is going to be a look at situations involving establishing long suits. And it's such an important part of declarer play. It comes up in so many hands. And let's have a look at this one to start with, where North, your partner, opened one spade. You responded two clubs, and they rebid two spades. And first thing you've got to think is what you're going to bid now. Well, there doesn't really seem to be much point bidding another suit. I actually played this hand as North some time ago, and my partner decided to rebid three diamonds, but that really isn't much use. And I think South should just go for three no trump. They've got 14 points, and yeah, I think three no trump is the right place to be. It doesn't look like you're going to find a fit anywhere. So let's suppose you end up in three no trump, and let's suppose your opponent's lead a heart. And as is usual in a no trump contract, we'll just start by counting our top tricks. So I think we've got two spades, two hearts, two diamonds, and two clubs. So that's very easy. We have 8 top tricks. And obviously we're going to look for more tricks, and we're going to look for our long suit. And spades is the possibility of some tricks, but I think the much better chance is the club suit, where we have 7 cards altogether. So there's a good chance that if we keep plugging away at clubs, we'll be able to set up at least 1 or 2 more tricks. The other thing we need for that to be a successful strategy is we need to have entries to the south end. And here we have quite a lot of entries in hearts and diamonds. So that's going to be my plan here. So let's win that first trick, and immediately let's start on clubs. We play the ace and the king. And the good news, everyone follows to that. So that's 8 clubs have gone, and I've got 3 more, 9, 10, 11. There are 2 more clubs out. But the other thing that's happened is someone played the jack. So the only high club out now is the queen. So all we now need to do is cross to our hand, perhaps with a diamond, and play a high club, force out the queen. And now, if you're counting the clubs, you'll know the rest of your clubs are good. So whatever they play now, you'll regain the lead, and you can cash 2 clubs, making 2 extra tricks there. You're going to make a diamond and the ace and king of spades. That's probably going to be it then, unless you're very lucky. And here they get in and cash the last tricks, and you end up making 10 tricks there. So you made your 8 top tricks, and you were able to establish 2 more tricks in club. So relatively simple example, although when this hand was played, a lot of people didn't make 3 no trump. So, but I think clubs with a reasonable club division, you have every prospect of making your contract. Let's have a look at this one here. Here you open a spade, your partner responds 2 clubs, and I think you have something like 18 points in the south end, a fairly balanced hand. So you're going to rebid no trump, and playing standard Akol, you would rebid 3 no trump here. And let's suppose the opponent's lead a diamond, the queen of diamonds, and let's stop to, again, count our trick. So we've got 2 spade tricks here off the top, 1 heart trick, and 2 diamonds. That's 5. And we're obviously going to make at least 3 club tricks. Now, the question is, how many clubs are we going to make? And you need to think on this hand about how many clubs you have between you and dummy, how many the opponents have, how many clubs, and how many clubs you are likely to therefore make. So what I'd like you to think about how the missing clubs are divided. You've got 7 clubs, the opponents have got 6, and they're likely to be divided 4-2 or 3-3. 3-3 would be nice. But the question is, with the most likely division, how many club tricks do you think you'll be able to take? So this is the first poll of the afternoon. So with the most likely club division between the opponents, how many club tricks do you think you'll be able to take? So I'm just going to launch that poll now. And the question is, with that most likely division, how many clubs do you think you'll be able to take here? And the overwhelming majority, 78%, have gone for 4, with a small number going for 3 or for 5. And let's shift back and see what we think of that. Well, yes, I agree with the majority of you. If you were lucky and you got the 3-3 division, you'd be able to make all 5 tricks. But much more likely division is the 4-2 division, which is 48% instead of 36% probability. So with that division, you will not be able to make all the clubs, but you should be able to make a 4th club by losing one. So there are 2 ways you can try this. You can hope they divide 3-3, and in that case, you'd be able to make all 5 tricks. But to cater to the possibility that they're 4-2, which is more likely, it's a good idea to lose a club early on. The problem if you play the ace, king, queen and discover they don't divide evenly, then you'll never get into the north hand because there are no entries to the north hand. So the way to give yourself the best chance to play this is when you gain the lead to play a club and immediately lose the first one. In fact, if I bring up the 4 hands at this point, and if I click on the GIB button, it's telling me that if I try to win this one with ace, king, queen, I can now be defeated. So I must give up a club. Okay, the opponents will win that, but whatever they play back, now I'm going to cater to that 4-2 division by winning the rest of the clubs. And this now sets up my 3 of clubs as the 9th trick. After that, I may not make any tricks here, although on this particular hand, what has actually happened is that East has discarded spades. So what happens if they do discard 2 spades? When I get back to my hand and I cash my top 2 spades, I then discover that my next spades are also good. So with that poor defense, if I go back and show the 4 hands, with that poor defense, as it was replayed here, you can actually make another 1 or 2 spades here. East here, what happened was that as the clubs are played, East didn't really know what to discard, and they discarded spades. And that was a mistake because South had bid 1 spade, and it was probably a better idea to try to match the spade suit because South has shown at least 4 spades, and East probably should have tried to keep length with dummy. Length with declarer's hand. Do let me know if you have any questions about this. The disadvantage of playing it that way is that you give up on the chance to make all 5 tricks in clubs. So someone else, who didn't play it that way would might make an extra trick if they've made all 5 club tricks. But if you go with the odds, if you play the same way every time you get a hand like this, you will do better in the long run to give up on the possibility of 5 club tricks, but give yourself a better chance to make 4 club tricks if you play it this way. Do let me know if you have a question about this. And here's another hand. This was also played recently. It could be bid in a variety of ways, but here you pass initially, we've got 10 points. Your partner opens 2 clubs, and your correct bid here is probably 2 no trump, which is a positive bid showing 8 or more points, but no good 5-card suit of your own. And your partner decides to bid 6 no trump, so you end up in 6 no trump, and the opponents lead a club. So again, let's stop to make a plan, and we're going to start by counting our top trick. So I've got 4 spade tricks. I have to be a little careful about taking those because there's a potential blockage there. I've got 2 heart tricks, and I've got 3 diamond tricks, and I've got 2 club tricks. So seems like we have 11 top tricks here, and you should be able to make 12 tricks here, but a lot of people, when this was played, didn't make 12 tricks. So I'm just going to go through how you might start off. So let's suppose you win the first trick with the king of clubs, and let's suppose you start on diamonds. You cash the ace, and you're watching to see if the opponents follow suit. You play the king, everyone follows to 2 rounds of diamonds, and then we play the queen of diamonds, and east follows, you discard a club, and west discards a club. So just have a count of the diamonds. 2 rounds went, that was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So your diamonds are not good now. There's a high diamond out, and the question for you now is, what suit are you going to play now? So you've just won trick 4 with the queen of diamonds, and the next poll for you is, what suit are you going to play now? Spade, heart, diamond, or a club? And this time we've got a fairly divided response, with spades being the top choice, followed by diamonds, hearts, and then clubs. And let's see what we think. Well, as I mentioned, we have 11 top tricks on this hand, and we could try for a 12th, perhaps with a heart finesse. We could lead a low heart and hope we can make a trick with a jack. But we have a much better chance. In fact, it's 100% chance to make a 12th trick, and that is another diamond. There's 1 more diamond out, and all you need to do to make the 12th trick, it's 100% chance if you play this now, is to play that last force out that last high diamond. Let's bring up the 4 hands, and all we're going to do is force out the jack of diamonds. Okay, and we still have stoppers in all the other suits, so whatever they play now, we'll get back in, and we can cash now the jack of diamonds. And that's going to be our 12th trick. After this, we are going to just play our spades and take our last 2 hearts, and we can claim the rest. We've got 2 more spades and another heart. It'll be our last 3 tricks. So this was a hand where the right way to play this was to start with the ace, king, queen of diamonds. If the diamonds had divided evenly, you would have made all 5. As it was, you just give up a trick and you make your 12th trick with the last diamond. So again, when this was played, a lot of people didn't make 12 tricks here. They may have tried the heart finesse, for example. But the heart will only yield a 12th trick if you're lucky with the finesse. As it is, West has got the queen, so unless they lead a heart or do something to help you, you will not make 12 tricks there. So do look out for long suits like this, and as you're playing them, try to keep track of how many cards are still outstanding. And with a normal distribution of 4-2, you'll make 12 tricks. If they'd been 3-3, you could have made all 13 tricks. Let's try another one. Again, these are all about spotting opportunities to make tricks with the long suits here. Let's suppose we open the south hand 1 no trump. Although you have a 5-card spade suit, it's a very poor suit. And if you're playing weak no trump 12 to 14, which is what we're doing here, this might be a hand that you don't rebid, that you don't bid one spade. The problem with bidding one spade is if your partner bids another suit, say two clubs, you then, well, your only legitimate bid is to rebid spades, bidding two spades. But with such a poor suit, that's sort of giving an impression of your hand that, you know, you've got a good spade suit, which you really don't here. So this is one of the kind of hands where I think I'd open one no trump. That gets passed out, and the opponents lead the queen of hearts. So again, I'd like you to start off by counting your top tricks here. I think I've got two hearts, one diamond, and one top trick in clubs. So what you need to do here is think about where you're going to make additional tricks apart from those four top club tricks. And you need to think about your entries, and you need to think about how you're going to play the suits when you gain the lead. But in anticipation of that, you've got to decide what to play at trick one. And you have the option of either winning this one in dummy with the king, winning it in your hand with the ace, or ducking from both hands, playing low from both hands and letting the queen hold the trick. So that's the subject of the next poll for you. How are you going to play the heart suit? Are you going to win in dummy with the king, win in your hand with the ace, or are you going to play low from both hands? Here comes that poll. And most of you have gone for ducking from both hands, 46%, followed by winning with the ace, and a smaller number have gone for winning with the king. Well, let's shift back, and before we decide what to do, we need to make a plan here. And we need to look at our best source of extra tricks. And I think that is the club suit here. The spade suit could provide more tricks, but you are missing the top four honors. So you may well struggle to, to force that out. Whereas in clubs, we've got all the top cards apart from the king. Now, how are you going to play the clubs? Well, you might think about finessing here, but you can't really finesse more than once here. For example, if you were to win with the king of hearts and try the club finesse, even if it succeed, well, so even if East had the king, if you played a club and East doesn't play it, you can win with the jack, but you can't finesse anymore. And also, you need to keep that king of hearts as an entry to the long club suit. So the way to make this contract is to give up on the club finesse, and instead keep that king of hearts as an entry to your long club suit. By the way, so what I'm going to do is play low from dummy, and it's also essential here to win this in your hand. If I bring up the, if I show you the GIB button, it is saying that if I make the mistake of playing low here, which quite a lot of you went for, I can be defeated. Why? Well, because the opponents will then carry on with another heart, and they'll knock out your king before you, which was going to be a vital entry to the north hand. So yes, the right play here is to play the ace here, and then forget about the club finesse, just drive out the king of clubs. So we'll play the ace of clubs here, and we'll now play the jack of clubs. And now we're coming also to another key decision about what to play, which is that you must overtake this with the queen. If you play low and the opponents let you win that, now you will struggle because you have not forced out the king of clubs, and you've only got one entry to the north hand. So the successful play here is, yes, to overtake, and then whatever happens, if they didn't win that one with the king, we just carry on in clubs. But whatever happens, we're going to get back to dummy with the king. The opponents might well shift to a spade here, and they can take the king, the ace, and the queen. Actually, they can take 3 tricks here. I'll just bring up the 4 hands at this point and just show you the situation at this point. At this point, if you were east, you might well be tempted to take your jack, although the computer says that that's not a good thing to do because that sets up the 10-4 declarer. And east should know, if they're watching the spades, that that is indeed the case. So east actually does better not to play the jack of spades, play another suit. But you get in there, and now you just cross to dummy, and you can take the last 3 club tricks. Okay. After that, the opponents will get in and take the rest, I think. But you'll make your 7 tricks there. You made your 4 top tricks, and you made 3 more in clubs. So that was an important one about realizing you need to preserve that king of hearts as an entry there. Let's try one more. This is involving a suit contract here, but it still involves setting up tricks in a long suit. So we open 2 spades here. That's a weak 2 spade showing a 6-card suit. And North has got a nice hand, only 2 spades, but strength everywhere else. And they jump to 4 spades, and West leads the king of diamonds. So if we stop to make our plan on this hand, normally in a suit contract, we'll look at our potential losers. We can see we've got no spade losers, but we might lose a heart, and we might lose 2 diamonds. We're not going to lose any clubs. So we have those 3 potential losers, but maybe we can do something with that long club suit. So if we think about it again, having 8 clubs here, the opponents have got 5, and as long as those divide 3-2, which will happen most of the time, we should be able to set up that suit by just and because it's in a suit contract, we don't have to lose any clubs, so we can rough a club, and as long as we can get back to dummy, we should be able to cash all the remaining clubs. So that's what we're going to do on this hand. Let's suppose we win that first trick with the ace. And you could try this in different orders, but let's suppose we start by drawing trumps with the ace and the queen. We want to keep drawing trumps, so it's a good idea probably to overtake that. And when everyone follows, we can now draw that last trump with the jack. And now what we're going to do is play the club. So we're going to win in the shorthand first. We're watching to see if everyone follows. And when they do, now we'll be able to establish a club suit by roughing 1. So we'll play a low club. We can rough that. We can cross back to dummy with the ace of hearts. And all our clubs are good. We've set up 3 club tricks. So we can discard all our losers on that. And in fact, we can make all 13 tricks on that one. When this one hand was played, only 2 people did make 13 tricks on it, but all it needs is a reasonable division in the club suit, and you should be able to set up that suit by roughing once. Do let me know if you have any questions or comments on that. And let's look at the last one today. And here, North, my partner, has opened 1 spade, and I've got 10 points, 2 5-card suits, so it's right to bid the higher ranking. If those had been 4-card suits, I would have bid 2 diamonds, but 5-card suits, you bid the higher ranking 2 hearts, and your partner jumps to 4 hearts. So you end up in 4 hearts. The opponents lead the queen of clubs, and again, we're going to look at the dummy and try and work out where we might lose tricks. So we don't have any spade losers. We're missing the ace of hearts, so we've got 1 trick to lose there. In clubs, we've got a singleton opposite the ace. And the only other suit where we may lose trick is in diamonds. However, you have pretty strong diamonds. You've got the ace as a singleton and then the king queen. But so what I'm hoping here is to be able to not lose any diamonds, to be able to set up that suit. But I may need to rough. So the way I like to think about this is I've got 6 diamonds, so the opponents have got 7. Think about how those are likely to be divided. And if they are divided in the most likely manner, how many times will you have to rough a diamond in order to establish the suit? So that's going to be the final poll. Our goal on this hand is to set up the diamond suit by roughing. And how many times do we expect to rough? So with the most likely diamond division of the opponents have, how many times will we have to rough diamonds in order to establish a suit? Let's have a look at the results. And we've got a tie here, equally divided between once or twice, and a couple of people saying 3 times. So let's shift back and work this out. Well, we have, as I said, 6 diamonds. The opponents have got 7, and those are most likely to be divided 4-3. If they are divided 4-3, what that means is that after we've played 3 rounds, say with the ace, king, queen, there'd be 1 diamond outstanding, but we'd be able to establish our remaining diamonds if we can rough once. So the correct answer is once. So that's going to be our plan on this hand. We're going to try to cater to at least the most likely division by roughing once. The other thing we have to do on this hand is we're going to draw trumps at some point. And the way we want to draw trumps here, you're missing the ace and the jack, is the best way to play this suit is to lead low towards your own hand, low towards your king, queen. So let's see if we can put all that into practice. We'll win the first trick with the ace. Now let's play that ace of diamonds so that we are not blocking the suit anymore. And now I think I'm going to start by drawing trumps. I'm going to lead a low heart, and if he plays low, I play the king or the queen. The queen holds the trick. So what I'm planning to do now is to get back to dummy and lead another heart towards my king. That's the best line to try to avoid 2 heart losers. But remember, I said I had this plan in the back of my head to rough a diamond, rough just once. And that's what I'm going to do on this hand. I'm going to rough a diamond. So I'm not going to cash the king and queen of diamonds. I'm going to do that rough early on. And if I do it early on, before I've cashed too many diamonds, it gives me a good chance that I can get away with a rough, even if it's a low rough. So that's what I'm going to do. Remember, my plan was to rough 1 diamond, so I'm going to do that. I got away with that. So I'm not going to rough any more. I'm going to carry on with hearts. This time the ace pops up. Isa's got the ace. There's still the jack out, so I need to draw that when I get a chance. If they play the king of clubs, I'm going to rough that and draw that last trump. That's all the trumps gone. And now just fingers crossed that my diamonds will cash. If I'm not so lucky, I might only make 2 diamonds here. But as it is, when I play the diamond, they both follow. And when I play the queen of diamonds, that wins. And now my 7 of diamonds is good as well. So I make that last diamond. I can now make the last 2 spades. And believe it or not, just with a fairly normal division of the cards, you can make 12 tricks here, which most people didn't do when this hand was played recently. So that's another example of establishing suits here, establishing the diamond suit. And it's a very good idea to work out early on how many times you plan to rough in a situation like this. And if you play it that way, you should avoid losing any diamonds. You'll make all the diamonds. You can see they divide 4-3. So you establish a suit basically by ruffing 1 once, and that's enough to make 12 tricks there. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? I hope you found that interesting. We'll stop sharing the screen there. And we've got the game starting at 2 o'clock in about 10 minutes.